High Plains Technology Center, turning education and training into workplace success.
Oh, back to school, to prove to Dad that I'm not a fool.
High Plains Technology Center, education at the speed of business. School is now in session.
All right, here we are back with you. I've taken a 2-week hiatus, been out. Thank you to Katie for filling in. Taylor Burnett once again with you. I'm going to put some pressure on the two guests this morning, and I'm going to say this is going to be the best 12 to 15-minute show that you will have all day long. So we are going to rock the Casbah, talk about a lot of things that you don't know, I'm excited, actually, what we can talk about. I've got a couple of guests. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So I'm looking to my left first. You go ahead, young lady.
Good morning.
I already lied, though. I just said young lady, so it's already a lie.
Oh,
so,
yay.
Yeah, here we go.
Good morning. This is Tammy Kellen, ACD coordinator at High Plains, and I'll talk to you briefly here in a little bit about what I've got going on.
Okay, and I'm Jason Perks with Central Tech Truck Driver Training.
So this is exciting because I wanted to have Jason on. You know, they're finishing up today, the graduation and everything. They're going to finish up their class. This is really, it's important. We work in conjunction with Central Tech, and it's a statewide program. And we are busy nonstop. Jason actually technically does not work for us, right? You work for?
I work for Central Tech.
How long have you been? I remember when you applied back in the day.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. Wow, almost 2 years. So Jason does the CDL program. So when you see at first, a lot of people were seeing those trucks driving around that said Central Tech on them. Now it's more in conjunction of the statewide program, showing all the dots on the map. And we couldn't be any happier. You know, we had tried this at High Plains long ago to do a little bit of a CDL class. We found out real fast this is an expensive course. It's expensive to maintain. It's expensive to keep. It's expensive to instruct. And we really weren't doing it the proper way. Why reinvent the wheel? State legislation stepped in, allowed Central Tech to kind of take the reins, and we really just kind of facilitate it. You know, we put a lot of money into a lot of the things out there that you see, but they are the experts. They are the ones that know what they're doing. But I'm glad that Jason came on because, Jason, tell a little bit about your background. I know a little bit, but those out there really don't, so go ahead.
Okay, I've got my CDL about 1997, so I've had it.
That's not that long ago.
Quite a while.
Okay.
And I've done a lot of work for the county, hauling equipment and rock trailers and things like that. And I worked for the city before that, and that's where I got my CDL. So I've just drove and hauled a lot of equipment.
And that was in Alva, correct?
That was in Alva.
Yes, that's what I remembered. So yeah. So he's not even a local boy, but he kind of lives a little bit in between, so it works perfect. Because what classes, where do you go and teach these classes?
I teach here at Woodward, and I teach at Fairview. We're going to get a range started at Alva. That's supposed to be coming up this year. And then we also teach at Watonga.
Okay. So that's why it works perfectly. So we are glad to have you on. So I wanted you to explain a little bit what is entailed in this class, because I don't think people really out there fully even realize start to finish is what this is. So to explain a lot about what the class is to where they don't even have to go into the DMV, correct? So
right. We handle most of it. They do have to take their permit test at the DMV.
Okay.
And that's usually kind of our first week projects, getting them ready to get their permits tested. And then we'll do pre-trip after that. We'll get them all ready to go on doing a full pre-trip. Then we'll do some backing maneuvers, and then we'll get out on the road and start driving.
What's the hardest grasp for people that have never stepped foot in a semi before?
I would have to say shifting.
Shifting? Okay.
Shifting when they drive. And some of them is backing. Everyone's kind of
the backing
different.
would probably get me. The shifting would be really okay. The backing, my wife has seen me back a trailer, so have my kids. It is frustrating. So, yeah, I can imagine backing a semi.
Well, you could come over. I'd help you.
Okay, all right. Challenge accepted. Because I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty intimidated by those things. So the class is, 5.5 weeks? Is that correct?
Yes, 28 days.
Okay, and at the end of that 28 days, what actually happens? Do they actually have the license in their hand, and then they can go to work, right?
Yes, they'll have their CDL usually by the time that we graduate, and then we'll have a certificate from Central Tech, and you get a Central Tech truck driver training hat, which you can only get if you pass and get your CDL through Central Tech.
All right, that's even cooler. I don't even know. Do you even have one of those hats, Tammy? I don't have one of those.
I stole one, but I
You
have it
stole
hidden
one,
in
okay,
a drawer.
But you haven't passed the class, so you shouldn't have it.
I know,
have
but
it.
like I said, I stole it.
Okay, all right.
We'll have to put her through the class.
I think so. That would be interesting.
I could do it.
I know
I
you
could do
could, and
it.
I
I
know
have no
I could, but
doubts.
I don't really want to because once I get that CDL, I know what comes with it.
Exactly.
And
Then
I don't
you're-
know if I'm ready.
I'm
for
right
that
beside you. That's one
responsibility.
thing we're going to agree on, Taylor.
Yeah, one thing. Well, we're
One
done for
thing.
the day. The show was finished. Tammy and I have agreed on something. The morning is made. Everything's groovy. So when the students if you're wanting to take a class, they reach out to you, right, Tammy?
Yes.
And talk a little bit about that process as well.
Well, I first of all, as soon as I know I've got a class coming up, I get with Katie, and Katie is very, very good at advertising that, getting it out on our social media, and people will call me directly. We do that as a first come, first serve basis. Whoever shows up with their $4,300 and a picture of their driver's license, I can get them in the class.
What prerequisites are needed to take this class?
They've got to be 18 years old, and for the most part, they need to have a real good driving record.
And there's one big caveat in there as well. That
They've got to pass a drug test.
Yes, there's one big caveat. Folks, listen, it might be legal federally, but it is not legal if you're being a CDL driver, and it does stay in your system a
It
little bit longer than
absolutely
you
is
think.
not. And the one question I'm always asked is, I have a marijuana card.
Yes.
Can I take the class if I have a marijuana card?
Yes.
I don't care if they have a marijuana card, Taylor.
And
as
the
long
federal
as
government
they're-
doesn't either.
As long as they're not positive whenever we go to test them.
Yes. And, that's the same thing we teach our WIN students as well as our PN and CNA students with things as well. It does not matter. Not judging. It's just those regulations and laws that we actually have to go through. And that's one of those big hurdles that does have to happen. So it occurs very fast during the class.
Yes, it's
Yes.
usually the first week of class.
So they want to enroll. They come to you. The other thing is I want to give our hats off to Central Tech as well, because I do think that we probably have the majority of the classes that are being offered right in Woodward, Oklahoma.
Yep.
Right. You love coming to Woodward more than any of them, right, Jason?
Well, I'm partial to Woodward, but I kind of like them all. Really,
Okay.
everybody's nice.
Oh
to me.
gosh. Okay. Come on. I wanted you to say Woodward's the best because
They're
of
good.
Tammy and Taylor, but so they want to enroll. They come. Who do they go to enroll in the class with?
They come to me.
Yes.
Now, we have had some that go through, if you're going through workforce, you have to go directly through Central Tech. They've got the program and everything set up with workforce. So if you're going through workforce, it has to go through Central Tech.
And they have had to send some people because of timing wise to other locations
Yes.
to take
and
classes.
that is a possibility.
Yeah.
We work with the other schools too and try to fill their classes. Of course, I want mine filled first, but I will work with other people. I've called Jason over
I
at
will work-
Fairview
I-
just
she
this
didn't.
week.
She didn't say I will. She goes, I will kind of work with other people.
No, I
If
do.
you're gonna work with anybody, you don't work with Jason Wallace. That's for sure. That's the
I
one
work
we
with
shouldn't.
Jason. I call him and I just asked him the other day about a guy that I needed to get in his next class because he couldn't fit into this class.
Yeah, because timing does matter sometimes when people take off because it is, like you said, 28 days.
It's 5.5 weeks, Monday through Friday.
Yeah, and it's all you can eat with things. The over the road, Jason. How much over the road driving does occur when they actually drive time do they have when they complete the class?
They'll have quite a few. We usually try to get it between an hour and 2 hours of drive time a day, and that's usually about 4 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you do overnights in this as well? Is that or does that you used to or
We don't here on the satellite
Okay,
classes. We
okay.
don't do overnights. We just do longer drives.
Okay. Well, how far do they go then? With Tonga? Do you take them on down back roads? Are they going to have to do any of that CDL stuff? That's just oil field stuff, probably.
Yeah,
right?
it's all highway driving.
Okay.
And around towns and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is probably the craziest when it comes to things is the towns
Oh, yeah.
with driving. We have learned that as
Yes.
well in our escapades. So one of the things that's way cool about this that I've looked up, I looked into the BLS statistics, the Bureau of Labor statistics. Starting wage for this job, do you know? What do you kind of? I know you kind of know, but the folks out there, what do you know? What do you think?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm going to guess. Do you want an hourly wage?
Yeah, I
wage
can, you can do both.
I would say 50 to 60,000 a year.
Yeah, there you go. You're right, and hit it right on the nose. Starting out after 5.5 weeks at $4,300.
So that's pretty good money for 5.5 week training.
Return on investment. Once again, the reason why that it works, the reason why we're doing it, the reason why Central Tech rocks at this, and it's their statewide program. It's putting people in a position to better themselves and have that career. Now, I will say I had to come back the other night from Oklahoma City about a month ago, and I was driving down I-40, and it looked like a semi-graveyard with the high winds and the slick roads. It was crazy. That's when I would say, I ain't doing this, but
Totally get that.
yeah, that's when I sit there and I watch that and I go, this is bothering me, and I don't even want to pass anybody, and I'm going 45 miles an hour. So, but you're right, $50,000 to $60,000. And when we talk about a lot of things, it's about return on investment because this is a career. Where did a lot of the people work that go through your class, Jason?
For the most part around this area, they've usually most of them have jobs already.
Yes.
So, trying to find someone there's always jobs available and people hitting me up for wanting CDL drivers.
And one of the cool things that we've done at the school, I don't know if the other schools have done it or not, and really don't care even though we work with them, just joking, is we bring in Melvin and have some businesses come in and talk to us.
We have businesses come in and they actually do some interviews with them. So if they don't have a job, there is a possibility that they'll walk out with a job.
Yes, a high possibility.
High possibility.
If they want that possibility,
Yes.
that possibility is there. So, so they walk out with that piece of paper. They can go to work. They're doing that today, later on this morning. It's just neat, and I just want to thank you for your time. Anything else you want to kind of add?
Nope. I just appreciate you guys and working with you guys.
All right. Well, cool. Thanks for having on campus. And I wanted to save some time. And this is probably where you guys can tune the dial out. No, I'm just joking. This is Tammy. She's going to talk a little bit about some of the classes we have coming up as well.
Well, I actually just put 3 new classes on our website this last week, and we are going to have an ACT prep class for our LPN incoming students, the ones that are trying to pass their ACT test that maybe haven't taken it in the last 5-10 years. There are some people out there.
Why'd you look at me when you said that?
Well, there's some people that come in, and they're not, I guess we'd call them non-traditional students.
Yes, which is what I love and cater to, yes.
So we try to prepare them just so that they're not completely blindsided whenever they go in to take that test, kind of freshen up some skills. One of the best classes that we've had is the basic phlebotomy class, and we are going to start that back up, and that is now on our website. That class starts on April 1st.
So those that don't know, phlebotomy is what?
It is taking blood.
Yes, there you go.
You can work, and you don't have to be a licensed phlebotomist in the state of Oklahoma to work as a phlebotomist.
I know. You do not have to, but it's highly recommended.
It's highly recommended.
And the odds of you getting a job if you're licensed are higher.
They're high. They're better if you have a license, absolutely. But we have had some people out of our class to get hired at a hospital or clinics or something like that draw blood in their facilities.
My daughter is doing it, and she's a licensed esthetician. So, I mean, she is doing that, and she's not a licensed phlebotomist, but she was trained under work. So, yes, you don't have to, but it's highly recommended.
And guess what? Our favorite class is coming back, Taylor.
What?
Beekeeping.
Oh, the best
class
honey.
ever.
The best
It is
honey.
the best honey. Jimmy Schobert's coming back, and we're going to start that one on April 1st as well. So, and as always, we have our long-term care aide, our CNA class. It's once a month. We have added a July class, and we have not had a CNA July class in several years. So that is coming back. We'll have a June class out in Beaver. And then those of you that would like to have your CMA, you have to have a CNA for 6 months in order to get your CMA. But we have CMA classes up in April and in June. And then, of course, we have CDL classes coming up, and our May and our June classes are
already
full.
Yeah, already full.
People, this is crazy. I mean, we fill these up as fast as we can get them out there.
Well, I just gave every reason for people not to do. They should do this after every
So
good
if
reason.
you want to take your CDL, please get in touch with us because we have a September class that's coming up, and I've already got people enrolled in that. So first come, first serve, and we'll get you taken care of.
And once again, we don't do the flyer. We push everybody via social media. That's the world we live in. And the flyer was costing too much return on investment. But we drive everybody to our website, hptc.edu, or you can call Sheila at 571-6167. She can direct you, or Anita, 256-6618, or Tammy at 571-6159. You can reach any of those three. They can direct you that way. Go to our website, hptc.edu. Look at the short-term classes, look at the long-term classes. And for those wanting to be in LPN, the prerequisites are you're gonna have to take your CNA, you're gonna have to have your med term, and those will be online as well. So that's why we're doing these CNA classes coming up.
Yes.
All right, everybody have a great morning. See you guys, and we're gonna graduate some CDL students. Hey, and I won't be here next week, so everybody have a great spring break.